So as we talked about in the previous lecture, my preferred way to check the traffic that's going for our tests is to record it in a proxy. A big advantage of that is that you have a record of it there and you can go back and look later, and you can even save that if you like. But if you don't want to send your traffic for a proxy, you can actually turn logging on in Rest Assured. So for completeness, we'll just have a quick look at some examples of that. So you can even add logging at the request level if you add log after given, or at the response level if you add it after then. So let's first look at adding logging after the request level. So to add in the login, we simply add in log. And then there's a few options that you can have here. You can log just the headers, or you could log just the body. For here, I'm just going to log everything because we don't actually have much going into this request. So I'll just simply do log. I'll go to the next line and do all. So this is just going to log everything when we make this API call. So let's just run this test and we'll see what comes back. So if you can see, after this test ran, it passed again and it logged everything. There's not much data here, but it's even logged our proxy that it's gone through, our cookies, etc. Even though most of them are none, it's logging everything. So that's useful. Another thing you can do is you can log only if something fails. So instead of having .all, we could say if validation fails, and now it will only log if there's an error in our validation. So if we just change that to 202, so this will make the test fail. Because the test fails, we would expect the log to be produced. So here we can see the test failed and the log was produced. Let's just change it back so that it passes, and let's see if we get the log. We would expect to not get the log this time, and sure enough, we don't get the log. So that's how we log on the request, and for the response, it's very similar. So we add in the all again. Sorry, we add in the log first. And again, you can log the headers or the body or whatever you want. For here, I'll just log all. So again, we would expect to see the full log after this test runs. Let's go ahead and run the test. And again, we have the response. So the validation didn't fail, so we didn't have the request logs. That's as we expected, and we get all of the response logs here. So that can be useful if you just want to log through, if you don't want to log for a proxy. As I say, I prefer to do it for a proxy because then you can build up a collection of data that you can look back over. And if you wanted to see what you maybe did a few calls ago, you can do that, or you can even save these in Fiddler. But this is another option that's open to you. Okay, I'll see you in the next lecture.